everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you today? So, I am, I am, sorry, reading comments. I gotta stop getting distracted before I even start. Okay. So, I am all up in the middle of the free band movement, as y'all know, and some new developments have happened. Now, I really want to tell y'all about the Wim Hof breathing retreat I went on. Like, I've been dying to just tell y'all about it, but things keep happening. And it's like, you know what? I think y'all would rather hear about the things happening. So here we are. All right. So, as y'all know, if you watched my last live from yesterday, the Britney Spears one, my phone got stolen in Barcelona. And then the first, moments I was there got stolen. So I have not been on the phone. It actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I was not focusing on anything on my phone because I did not have one. So I was really able to fully do the retreat and all of that because I think if I had my phone, I would have been on the phone with Monica the whole entire time about Bam, about Brittany, about all this stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, so when I returned, I found out all kinds of updates about Bam, like that he had, um, at the time I went to Barcelona, he was missing, but like on the run. And I had just made the video that said I found the court documents of the conservatorship, and the conservatorship ended. The way that Lima had it set up was she got the original conservatorship in Mesa, Arizona. What's the name of that? Maricopa County. She got the first conservatorship set up in June 2021 in Maricopa County, Arizona. Then in September 2021, she filed for a second conservatorship. Now, that original Arizona conservatorship she filed for in Maricopa, she filed for two at the same time. These documents can be found on my Instagram, linked below. It might also be in the drive. Anyway, she files for this conservatorship in Mesa, Arizona, in Maricopa County in June. She files for two at the same time, a temporary guardianship and a permanent guardianship. So when she filed those papers, she did so with the clear and obvious intent to make the conservatorship permanent. Now, where have we seen that before? If you've been around, you saw it in the Britney Spears case. And just as recently as yesterday, we read emails between the lawyers discussing why it's important to make the conservatorship permanent, right? So it's a big thing in conservatorship law. Now, I do want to address the name calling that's been coming my way from the Margera family, and I will. So don't you worry, we're going to get to that. But I just want to like lay out for people that are brand new here what's going on in the law of this case. All the documents that I'm telling you about right now, I'm going to explicitly tell you if I haven't seen them. Otherwise, I've seen it with my eyes, okay? Right now in this section. Okay? I've seen documents with my eyes from a court website that I will provide to anyone who asks for them, that Lima Yevremovich put Bam Margera in a conservatorship in Maricopa County, Arizona, June 2021. 3 months later, it starts getting reported on TMZ and elsewhere that Bam Margera is on the run or something in Florida. And in Florida, this is a different state. Now, just to remind y'all who don't have the timeline in your head, Jeff Tremaine pressed a restraining order charge or whatever against Bam. He got a restraining order against Bam May 25th, 2021. Less than a week later, Bam is in a conservatorship in a totally different state, right? He does the restraining order in LA, which is in California. And then 7 days later, Bam is in a conservatorship in Arizona. Then 3 months later, he sues Jeff Tremaine and others for disability discrimination, for copyright infringement, for illegal employment practices. And then the very next month after that was August 2021. The very next month after that, Lima files for yet another conservatorship in a different state. This time, Pinellas County. That was the time when y'all heard Bam was ripping people's implants. We have the police body camera footage from that event. I have been able to take the police body camera footage, and it's available. The video is available for y'all online. I paid $226 of my own money to see the publicly available police body camera footage. And in it, it directly contradicts what the media was reporting. What was the media reporting? I'm not going to get into all of it line by line because I've already shown you all that. And if you have been watching my videos, you will know I do not say theories without being very explicit that it's my opinion or my belief or my suspicion. I never say anything as if it is a fact when I don't know it to be a fact. Okay? That's just not what I do. And if you don't know me, just in case you don't, the way I got involved in the Free Britney movement is because I saw a conspiracy theory TikTok that said Britney Spears was being held against her will. I thought that that was preposterous and impossible. I thought that because Britney Spears is rich, famous, and what I would consider to be privileged, that there was no way that something like that could be happening to her. I made a series of assumptions. I also assumed that the people around Britney had her best interest at heart. I assumed that her family would make the correct decisions for her. I made a bunch of assumptions and considered what turned out to mostly be true to be a joke, a conspiracy theory. The person whose TikTok I saw was Moonwalk Mars, and he got bullied off the internet by people calling him a conspiracy theorist. But I would like to go back and watch some of those videos because I think he was probably right about a lot of stuff. And like, sure, we can get into the nuance of like, well, was he right about everything, this, that, the other? The point is, when you don't know something for sure, the way that you arrive at any opinion on the issue at all is to use a little bit of what we call in the law inductive reasoning. Okay. You ask questions like using the Socratic method to get to what might be going on. And that's what I do on this channel. I ask questions such as, why does Lima Yevremovich spell her name differently in every single court filing that I've ever seen her name on? Do y'all see what I just did there? I asked a question. Why does Lima spell her name differently on every single court filing that I've seen her name on? Do y'all see how what I'm not doing right now is saying the reason Lima does that is because she's a fraud criminal who's trying to cover her tracks? No, I don't say that. I would never say that. You see how I did that? There are people, and you can read the comments, who do give other suggestions. Those people will say Lima spells her name this way on this filing and this way on that filing because she got married in the meantime. Okay, fine. That's an alternative theory. But that's a theory. A question, Jesse, April, isn't a theory. We're going to get into the specifics in just a moment. So that's what's going on in the timeline on BAM. But on the same timeline, in April 2021, 1 month before the restraining order, 1 month and a week before BAM is put in that first conservatorship, 6 weeks before BAM is put in that first conservatorship, Lima had a ward who she was responsible for die unexpectedly in her care. Now, I'm not theorizing. That's not a theory. That's a fact from Lima herself. Lima went on Soft White Underbelly and said, Amanda has died. She died in like May 2021, April or May. Was it May 25th? I don't remember. That was the restraining order. It's all in my head up here. It is an undisputed fact that 6 weeks or so before Bam Margera was put into a conservatorship by Lima Tagali Mora Yeremevich, whatever her names that she's going to spell, that lady before she put Bam into the first conservatorship, she had a lady in her care die. That woman was 25 years old. Her name was Amanda Rabb. Now, I requested the medical examiner autopsy report to see what the cause of death was for Amanda. Now, you can go look at it yourself. Don't listen to me. Go try to prove every single thing I say in this video wrong. Everything I say, please disprove it, because I would prefer to live in a world where the things that I assume are happening can't happen. I want to go back to living in that world. It was like a lot nicer place to be mentally. Okay. So if you can prove me wrong, and I'm not talking about calling me a conspiracy theorist, sweetheart, I'm talking about find the words that I'm saying and refute them. I looked up the cause of death. Lima had gone on Soft White Underbelly on Mark Laita's channel and said the cause of death was seizures, post-traumatic seizure disorder. I'm not making that up. Go look the video up. I requested, with the help of my investigation team, a lot of public records around Amanda Rabb's case. In particular, the autopsy report. Now, Lima had said Amanda died with that she had done a blood work on her. I should have pulled up the video so I get the exact words, because I am paraphrasing here. But she said they tested Amanda's blood or whatever, and specifically, there was nothing but Tylenol in Amanda's system. Well, guess what the autopsy report says? This is a publicly available document. I'm not pretending like I'm the only person who has seen it. I'm just telling people, Jess and April, what it says. Mm-hmm. And it says that Amanda's cause of death was a cardiac arrhythmia, and the complicating matters of her cause of death were schizophrenia, obesity, and something else. Nowhere was it seizures. Nowhere was it epilepsy. Nowhere in the coroner's report did it say he even suspected that she might have had a seizure. The word seizure, nowhere. The word epilepsy, nowhere. I'm not a doctor, okay? I wasn't there. I'm not a nurse, and I wasn't there. But what I can tell you for a fact is that the publicly available documents directly dispute and contradict what Lima said about Amanda's cause of death. Okay, so if that's my brother, if Bam Margera is my brother, I think I'm going to be a little concerned to find that knowledge out, right? I mean, if Bam's my brother and I find out that the lady that we're entrusting to save his life has lied publicly in front of 2 million people, that's how many subscribers Mark Laita has lied about the cause of death and the drugs in the system of someone who she just did the same thing to my brother, and that's what she did. That was her most recent patient, to my knowledge. I'm going to probably start asking some questions, and it's going to be in the direction of Lima, who just took over my brother's life. But instead of asking questions of Lima, what Jess Margera has chosen to do is pretend that my reading of publicly available documents, which show a direct contradiction to what Lima says, insofar as if what is true, if what is in the medical examiner's report is true, and that cause of death is true, then it is necessarily the case that what Lima said was false. So who's really the conspiracy theorist? Jess Margera, because you seem to be the one who is saying that somehow the medical examiner's report in Las Vegas is false. But Lima, who has financial and legal interests in, her side, her version of the story, you're not thinking, maybe there's some factors going on here that Lima has been lying to us about. No, your first leap is to say that the woman who dared use volunteer her time to help my brother out of a literal human trafficking situation, it's clear as day. Instead of calling me, DMing me, maybe, I don't know, you could have tried to set the story straight in my DMs before you went slinging mud on Twitter. But what you chose to do in the face of the medical examiner's report contradicting what Lima told hundreds of thousands, collectively millions of people, instead of saying, wait a second, this woman lied to millions of people and she's never come out and corrected that lie. She literally said that she was reading from the autopsy report. It clearly wasn't the autopsy report. She said that it was 2 pages of handwritten notes. I can send you the autopsy report. I'm not going to drop names, but I have already sent those records to some of your friends. I'm not going to drop names because I don't reveal my sources. But what you've chosen to do is ignore the facts and ignore logic because of your emotions. The reality you are choosing to live in, Jess, is that Lima is telling the truth about the cause of death and the autopsy and the drugs in the system. But the government, the taxpayer-funded coroner with not as many, reasons to have to make their version of the story be the case. What does it matter to them how Amanda Rabb died? Lima has never come out and corrected that story, Jess. It's still hanging out there and getting thousands of views. It's got hundreds of thousands. Some of those Amanda videos have millions of views. Millions of people saw that story. And the reality you've chosen to live in is to attack the person who's trying to help your brother, the only person who is asking the general American public to perhaps just consider an alternative perspective. And I actually have experience in this field at this point. Because if you check my Instagram, let's go to that right now. Let's look at this collection of images, please. Jess and April. Brandon Novak, welcome. Steve-O, welcome. Y'all have definitely blocked me on Instagram, but I know you know what's going on. So welcome. Come have a seat. I'm really not interested in fighting with y'all. I'm trying to share my knowledge. I'm casting my pearls before swine at this point, unless y'all are bad actors. Because think about it from our perspective. Just think about it from our perspective. We're trying to help Bam Margera because we genuinely believe in medical autonomy. And what I'm realizing about you, lot of people, is that y'all don't believe in medical autonomy. Y'all say stuff like, he was getting wasted every night. Y'all know that's like not a crime and it's not against the law. Oh, but he was committing crime. He was assaulting people. Okay. Well, if that's the case, he should go to jail, right? Because when you go to jail, when you get arrested for a crime, you have all these constitutional rights that kick in, right? The constitutional rights that kick in, I'm a lawyer if you're new here, are like the right to due process, a trial by jury, a quick and speedy trial, within reasonable measures, and the right to an attorney. You have the right to refuse medical treatment in jail, right? There's a lot of rights you have. And I understand that if one of you jump the gun types were to hear me say that, what you would extrapolate that to mean is, or to say, you would twist my words and you would say, listen to her. She's heartless, or she doesn't get it. She's naive. She's a silly little girl. She's a maniac, because anybody would rather go to a luxury mental hospital or rehab or whatever than a jail. That's what they would say. But I really want to suss through what that means. Let's say Bam Margera went to jail on a DUI, even assault. He has money. He has the right to hire a lawyer. So he hires one. Y'all saw what happened in that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. No matter which side of the opinion you fell on, you can obviously see that money can buy you a good lawyer to spin the tale however they need to spin it, right? Bam Margera has effectively for a whole year lost his rights to medical autonomy. Now, if you watch my Roe versus Wade coverage, you will know that there is no constitutional right that is explicitly granted to us that gives us medical autonomy. And I think one of my big life missions is going to be to amend the United States Constitution to make an amendment that explicitly grants the right to medical autonomy to every human being in the country. Because I get accused all the time of being right wing or QAnon. And I have news for y'all. I am nothing of the sort. I think Donald Trump was like the worst thing to happen to this country, maybe like in my life. So I don't want to hear y'all's opinions on Donald Trump. I'm only saying that because that's my true opinion. And I don't want it to get it twisted that I'm some type of QAnon. But I will tell you one thing. I've been looking at both sides of this political spectrum, and all of them seem to be in agreement on conservatorships. Everybody's in agreement that if you're drinking or acting erratic or crazy, you should be locked up. Your rights should be taken away. And I'm here to say, I just disagree. I think that's the real point of disagreement between Bam Margera's family and me, is that I believe fundamentally in medical autonomy on both sides. That's why I don't go on either one. These vaccines, I don't think that they should be mandatory. And I don't think that we should be in a situation where the government is telling us what vaccines to get. And I know, that's been happening for years. Guess what? A lot of stuff happened for years that I don't agree with. So that's a bad logical argument. Y'all got to start learning how to use logic if you're going to argue with me. Calling me names is called an ad hominem attack. It's cute. It works. It's effective, especially when you can get the mob on your side. But let's just talk about the facts. I would love to. Also, Roe versus Wade, I do not believe anybody else but that pregnant person should get the right to choose that. Isn't that weird how I have both of those opinions at the same time? Isn't that strange? Kind of like freaks you out, right? Because it's like, oh God, where do I put her in the box? She don't think I should be forced to take a vaccine or wear a mask, but she also don't think I should be forced to carry a child to term. My brain is exploding. Let me call this girl some names, because it's hurting my brain to have to put her in a box. So let's get to what Jess been saying on the internet, so y'all get in on the thing. Okay. All right. So here's our experience from the Free Britney movement. I know Jess likes to use the Free Britney movement like against us and act like it's somehow like bad to be a part of the Free Britney movement, or like it's like not good enough for him or something. But like, let me tell you one thing. We were on the forefront of a global socio-political movement, and we navigated that thing more effectively than any other movement I've seen in my life. So I'm damn proud of our work in the Free Britney movement, and I'm damn proud that the work will continue to go on. So you're not gonna shame me. You're gonna shame me for being a part of something that was incredible and continues to be. Anyway, So let's look at some of these headlines here, this collection of pictures. Britney Spears' dad calls Free Britney a conspiracy theory, August 1st, 2020. Well, look at that. On TikTok, Free Britney conspiracy theories run deep. Conspiracy theory TikTok is convinced she's sending out coded messages. Britney Spears' conservatorship conspiracy theories shine a light on a complicated system. Everything you need to know about conservatorships, conspiracy theories, and Spears' now public struggle to control her own life. Well, isn't it cute how the narrative flipped that fast? The title of this article, I couldn't get it all in the picture because Instagram only lets you do a square, is called Wait, What? The title of this GQ article is called Wait, What? Did I post it? No. It's called Wait, What? What does that imply to you? Let's do a little analysis. When you say wait, what, that means that you assumed before that couldn't have been the case, which is what Jess Margera is doing. Instead of looking into these facts and looking into these publicly available documents, he's making a bunch of assumptions. Then, ironically, he's blaming me of doing that. It's very projecting of him, but it's okay. I'm very emotionally grounded at the moment, so I can really see clearly what's going on. Okay. Another one, how conspiracy theories slowly suffocated the Free Britney movement. Girl, is the Free Britney movement suffocated or is it vindicated? Because those documents we read yesterday sure did confirm a bunch of conspiracy theories that we've been having for 2 years. And it's like, oh, it's old news now. Oh, breaking news. Yeah, okay, girl, we've been telling y'all that for 2 years. And the whole time we were being called conspiracy theorists. So it's pretty familiar when you start tapping on the right, you not start knocking on the right door. They call you a few sets of things. Conspiracy theorists, they call you a QAnon. They love to call you that. Flat earther, whatever, girl. The earth is round. That's my opinion, but I don't actually really care if you think the earth is flat. That's the thing. Why is that the big thing of the day? Oh, you think the earth is flat? Unless you've gotten in a spaceship or whatever, I don't know. I know the earth is round. Okay. Don't get me wrong. But why do y'all care so much if the other people, what the shape of the earth the other people think? Don't y'all have divorces to attend to and relationships to I don't know, repair or whatever? Shouldn't you be calling your dad before he dies of cancer? I'm not talking to Jess. I do not want y'all to think I was talking to Jess. I would not make a joke like that. I'm just thinking of all the different types of people that have so much to say about what the other people of the world think the shape of the earth is. It is kind of funny, I guess. Haha, we've been there, done that, girl. We already know the earth is round. But why do y'all care so much? You spend a lot of time thinking about what other people believe, and it's kind of exhausting. Okay. All right. So let's go to some of these things. Jess Margera, while I was gone in Spain, he was tweeting up a storm, girl. So this is one of the things he said on Instagram. He said, he's so mad. It's like he's spiraling. You know, when you get in those manic states and you're just running all across the internet and all these platforms, and it's I just got to get it out. I've been there, Jess. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. In my early days of the Free Britney movement, I didn't really understand how the social pressure worked and stuff. I'm happy to mentor you through this time. I really just want to help you, brother. But let's read what you had to say about me on the internet. I don't know. This it says an hour ago. I don't know when this screenshot is from. Just from the investigation squad. Thank y'all very much. This guy was pissed so he went on the Instagram and he posted a picture of some tweets. Then he wanted to tell his Instagram friends about his commentary on his tweets. So post a picture of some tweets, and he says, this guy was pissed when I said I showed Bam the video of the maniac who started the free Bam bullshit. And he was hysterically laughing. Sorry to end your silly little conspiracy party, guys. Free Bam, Danny DeVito Gates, social media is not real life. So I do actually want to do a little bit of an analysis, if y'all would bear with me, like a lawyer reacts to Bam Margera's family not liking her or whatever, right? Hold on. I need a beverage. I need to sip my beverage. Also, it's very funny to me that the people from the skateboarding community are having a hard time with the ears. I think it's very cute. Y'all, it's just self-expression and kind of keeping in touch with my inner child. And it also is just humorous to me that people care so much what I have on my head. So that's what that's about. But I really do think it's funny. I think it's cute. I know y'all will come around because you will realize that I'm not full of shit, but it's only a matter of time. I'm not worried about winning y'all over. Okay. So Jess Margera said, first of all, thank you, Jess, for doing what, many people would refuse to do. And that's given me credit for starting this movement. I really do appreciate it. And it has now been memorialized forever. Thank you for giving me the credit, because what I think, if you're asking me for a PR tip, what I would do next time, I shouldn't be giving my secrets away, but I do think this is how people should act. So I'm gonna just tell you what you should do next time is take all that rage, all that pin up, whatever, and direct it somewhere else besides a social media post. Because it's very ironic to me that one of your hashtags, your final hashtag, your final statement of this post is social media is not real life. But the way that you are venting your feelings out, and the way that you're processing the big boy emotions that you're having right now is to go directly to social media. I have some apps I could recommend to you, some breathing exercises. I might recommend an ice bath. But if you are trying to portray an image that you don't believe that social media is real life, then you should not go to social media to vent out your frustrations, because that's not very healthy. I do that personally, but I'm not saying hashtag social media is not real life. I'm saying social media is another dimension in which we occupy, we inhabit, in which we interact with one another, sort of separate and apart from our physical human bodies. It adds like a separate layer and actually takes also away some of the closeness. So, I mean, there's really, we could get into it, but social media is real life. But it's cute to me that you're trying to act like it's not whenever the first thing you did was run to social media. Okay, we have a lot more to get through, but I really wanted to make that point. Okay. So I'm a maniac. So I will say also, y'all, I have new merch. And one of the things is a sticker that says "Silly Little Maniac." I put the link below in the description box. And the profit on it is like, think $1, $2, something like that per sticker. So what I'm going to do, it's not going to be much money, but I'm going to take all the profits that I make on that and I'm going to put it toward the free BAM fund. Okay. So the free BAM fund is going to be used for purchasing court documents, reimbursing myself for the hundreds of dollars I spent on police body camera footage, et cetera, et cetera. So if y'all want to support that, you can get a Silly Little Maniac sticker in my store linked below. Thank you for that idea, Jess. That was super cute. Thanks. I'm going to put one on my laptop for sure. Okay. So I showed Bam the video of the maniac. That's me. I'm the maniac. We're the silly little maniacs. It's cute. I like that. Maniac. It's a good one. And he was hysterically laughing. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because if Bam was truly on their side, on Jess Margera's side and on April Margera's side, then he would go on a video with them and cuss my ass out. He would video himself laughing and laughing at me. They would have videoed him laughing. Bam would have said something. The man does not keep his thoughts or opinions to himself. And it's clear as day that he doesn't run that Instagram account. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't believe they showed him the main. First of all, why? Why? Right? Okay, listen. Here's my conspiracy theory. I don't believe this is true, but it's just my opinion. Here comes those questions I was talking to y'all about earlier. Why? What would the motive be for Jess Margera to show Bam videos of me talking about him being abused, enslaved, et cetera, et cetera? What would the motivation be? Maybe it happened. I don't know anything. As Jess Margera correctly points out, he is right about one thing. I don't have a clue what is going on behind the scenes. I have no clue. Well, you could tell me, but then I know what you're going to say. You don't deserve to know what's going on in my brother's life. You're right. I don't. So what's the next option for me, Jess? Inductive reasoning, using the tools of logic, right? So it just doesn't make sense to me that during him actively trying to run away from rehab, y'all are showing him things that would further incite him to want to escape and be free. That don't make sense. But don't take my word for it, because y'all are going to see another contradictory post to this. We're going to get to it. This is the last thing I want to say about this one. Sorry to end your silly little conspiracy party, guys. First of all, I'm not a guy. Let's get that out of the way. I say y'all on this channel, and I think all y'all should say y'all, because I'm not a guy, and guys don't like being called girls. It would be real different if I could walk up to y'all and say, hey, girls, but I cannot. So I'm off my soapbox. So say y'all next time or something, because that's disrespectful, Jess. Okay, on a serious note, this is what I wanted to say. He says, sorry to end your silly little conspiracy party, guys. First of all, let's just take for granted that it is a conspiracy party. Can we call this the conspiracy party video? This will be the conspiracy. When I refer to this video, I'll be like, oh yeah, the conspiracy party. That's what I'm okay. So here's the conspiracy party. Let's just take for granted that that's even true. I'm not even going to argue with him on that. Fine. It's a conspiracy party. Fine. Sorry to end your silly little conspiracy party. What I'm confused about is, did he really think this Instagram post, even though social media is not real life according to him, it was going to end? He was going to end the free one. I have this image in my head, like, this is just speculation. I don't know. This is just what goes on in my mind. I'm letting y'all in. But this image in my head of Jess Margera, like, stomping around Castle Bam, like, mad. His blood pressure is all worked up. He has all kinds of real problems to be worried about that aren't like me telling the truth about Lima Yevremovich online. And he's like, you know what? I've had it. I've had enough. I'm going to end this once and for all. And I'm going to make a post on Instagram and Twitter, a meta post. I'm going to put a post on Twitter, then on Instagram, and I'm going to end it. I'm going to end this thing, right? Like, that's how I imagine, like, the lead up to this post. And then it's like when you light a firework on the 4th of July or whatever, you're waiting for it to go and it just never does. Or it's like, it's only smoke and you're waiting for the Roman candle to happen. It's just smoke. That's what this post is to me, because if you had ended our silly little conspiracy party, you would not be literally still tweeting about me as I'm making this video. I thought you ended our little conspiracy party, Daddy Jess. Like, now this is embarrassing. Now look what you did. You thought you were going to come out stomping and huffing and puffing. Should have just used your manners. Should have just used your common sense. Should have just used your logic. I've talked to some of your friends. They're very smart people. They are logical. You know how to use logic. You didn't. You used emotions. And you're continuing still right now to use emotions to navigate the situation instead of logic. Now, I'm laughing and joking and playing around because I really don't take this that seriously. I have been called much worse by much more heavier hitters, okay? So it's really not that you're calling me names. It's kind of funny to come and laugh about it. I genuinely want to help Bam Margera, but to help him, in my opinion, requires we trust him with his own medical decisions and his own money. So if we can't agree on that, I don't really think I can help you help him. But I really want that outcome. It's not about arguing with you and Steve-O on the internet, because to be honest, I wish we were all working together on a real solution. But we have to start with the same foundation on the same reality. And the reality is Lima Yevremovich should be looked into. The death of Amanda Rabb should be investigated. I'm happy to send you all of the documentation I have. Anyway, what else he said while I was in Barcelona? Or I wasn't in Barcelona. Oh, this is April. Okay. Again, y'all, I know, listen, I have the same feelings about this woman as I do about Lynn Spears. It's like all the signs and all the fans and all the activists would point to saying, like, throw her under the bus. But, like, I remember how Bam Margera used to treat her, okay? I saw Viva La Bam here and there. I never watched Jackass because the stunts were a little too extreme, but I felt like Viva La Bam was, like, less extreme, so I was able to catch a few of those episodes. And I remember that Bam was like tortured this lady, right? And it's like she was so sweet and good and nice and all that. And she just felt like in my memory, I've not been aware of her in many years, but in my memory, she's like a sweet mom, like a middle class, like mom from Pennsylvania or whatever, right? So like I actually really feel for her. Truly do, because I believe strongly in my heart that April Margera does want Bam to live a happy, healthy, and strong life and be there for his child and be there for his family and be functional and all that. I think that April must be coming from a good place. And a lot of y'all have turned on her. And that's fair too, because you're entitled to your opinion. But I just wanted to do that caveat because it would just be weird to me to be like, yeah, fuck April Margera. Like, that doesn't feel correct. I think that April may not fully see what's going on because she probably sees that Lima has been pretty effective in controlling Bam. And therein lies the problem. We cannot control people who we love, even when they're doing things we don't agree with and that are universally considered, disruptive. We cannot help people by controlling them. But I think this is my theory, this conspiracy theory. I don't know anything. Like Jess Margera said, he was right. I don't know anything. I know nothing. Nothing. This is me speculating because I know nothing and just telling y'all what my feelings are. This is the lens through which we're reacting or whatever, but I feel like April probably likes that Lima can control Bam because she's never been able to. Lima has all these resources. She's got all these fancy gadgets. She's been on YouTube channels. But there's other stuff about Lima that should give you pause. I'm not saying don't help Bam. I'm saying consider these other variables that you perhaps did not know. And you know what? Over here, hold on. What did Jess say? He said, did it not load up on here? I don't exactly know where the post is. I lost my train of thought anyway. Okay, back to April. Okay, this woman with the free Bam stuff. Okay, this is what April had to say about me. 27 people liked it. Oh, ratioed. The constant harassment. It's a little confusing to me to understand. I don't exactly know what she means. I think I'll have to use a conspiracy theory to get to her meaning because she's a little ambiguous, but come with me, shall we? The constant harassment of uninformed people is a complete derailment of getting any lived one help. Okay. The constant harassment of uninformed people. So the harassment of. Shouldn't it be a harassment by? Or she's saying she's being constantly harassed by uninformed people? Well, okay, listen. Maybe she's right. Maybe she is being harassed by uninformed people, but that's not me because I've never tagged her in anything to my knowledge, to my memory, maybe one or two things. It's not that wouldn't be considered harassment, much less constant. But maybe some people in Free Bam don't know how to act. I know that was the case in Free Britney. I cannot take credit for all the Free Britney stands because some of them do not know how to act. I block them routinely on the internet. But maybe some of the Free Bams don't know how to act. Maybe that's them. I haven't seen that, but maybe they're harassing April Margera. I really do not know. But she's certainly not talking about me when she says uninformed because first of all, I'm not harassing her. And second of all, I'm pretty damn informed. I have the dates of these things lined up in my head, as a timeline, playing in a picture all day long. I'm pretty informed. Let's not get it twisted. it's pretty impressive I was able to get all those court documents, right? For someone uninformed. Anyway, she ain't talking about me. I think she means loved one. So look at this. Look, so Jess just told us that he was putting us an end to our silly little conspiracy theory, and that Bam was hysterically laughing. Thank you, Melanie pointed this one out. This is where we start catching them slipping in their P. They're not a united front in a PR level. So next time y'all do a PR push, make sure it's not being done out of emotions. Make sure it's done out of logic. That's my first tip. Actually, scratch. That's my second tip. My first tip is don't address me. If y'all aren't willing to have a good faith conversation with me, why are you talking about me on the internet? You're giving me credibility. Now you've told everyone that I started the free BAM stuff. That was a little bit silly. Thanks for that. You gave me that power. I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt now. Silly little maniac. Every time you address people without coming in good faith, you expose yourself to this. The second thing I would tell y'all is get on a united front with your PR because it makes you look like a liar too. I'm not calling you a liar, but your stories don't add up. You're telling me, Jess, that Bam is hysterically laughing and I'm a maniac, which is to imply the implication is that I'm wrong, right? That Bam is with y'all and y'all are all laughing and kikiing and chi-chiing. But what did your mom say? This is a complete derailment of getting him help. So which is it? Is it a complete derailment? Or did you end the silly little conspiracy party? Is it a complete derailment? Or is Bam Margera laughing hysterically at the maniac? This doesn't add up. How are both of these things true? And again, this woman with the free BAM stuff has one fact right. What is it, April? His name. That was a good one. That was cute. Good job. I appreciate that effort. I really do. I know it's probably a very difficult time for you right now because you probably do not know who you can trust. And so this is your way of kind of whatever. But I have more than that fact right. And I have documents to back it up. Lima cannot produce to you a document that says Amanda Rabb died from a seizure. But I can produce to you a document from a government authority that says she didn't. And how on earth, who do you think you are to tell me that I shouldn't rely on a government document and instead I should listen to Lima, who has many, many interests in not having Amanda die in her care for reasons that were maybe, I don't know, preventable or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's silly. I understand that y'all are in an emotional state and I truly want to help you, but we have to operate from the shared reality that Bam deserves to decide what medicines he puts in his body. Don't you think that you deserve to decide what medications are forced into your body? Come on. And we have to agree on the fundamental reality that Lima Yevremovich deserves some additional questions. And maybe it is a little weird, that Stephen B. Timmer was the interventionist, but also called to put Bam into his own facility. And I have the 911 call, April. Stephen B. Timmer, a convicted criminal, lost his bar license because of fraud, called the police and said that Bam was assaulting someone. I requested the police body camera footage. Stephen B. Timmer lied. And then it was a whole fiasco. It was supposed to be a Marchman order, but because he was drunk or intoxicated or in whatever way, they couldn't take him to Tranquil Shores. They had to take him to a detox. That's the rules. They discussed it on camera. April, the way I know this is because I heard them say it on the camera. I didn't even know this before. I watched it with my subscribers and they informed me. They are citizens of Florida. They told me, April, When you're intoxicated, you got to go to a detox. Tranquil Shores is not a detox. So you know what they did right there on the scene? Scrambling. Aunt Missy's there. Everybody's there scrambling on the scene. Then they're like, oh, we're getting another cop to come do a Baker Act, another involuntary psychiatric hold, another round of forced drugs on your son. Has it dawned upon any of you that maybe, just maybe, I know I'm just some uninformed, silly maniac, but have you considered that when Bam does the best, it's when he is given like a little bit of freedom to decide what he's putting in his body, like, or not? Y'all are trying to control this man and saying he's laughing in my face. This is weird. Bam listened to her podcast. I don't have a podcast. Could you please clarify what episode of the Free Bam playlist he had listened to? Listened to her podcast and was completely bowled over that anyone would believe one word of the crap she's selling. April, this is embarrassing. Actually, you know what? I was going to go through more Instagram things. I'm going to pull up a file. Jess is his brother. Let's just finish this because y'all know StreamYard don't know how to act. All right. What else did they say? This is all old news too. This was old news. This was like last week. Anyone would believe one word of the crap what am I selling? Like, here's the crap I'm selling. If y'all are just getting here for the first time, here's the crap I'm selling. The crap I'm selling is Bam Margera started his own production company as like a 20-year-old or 21 or something. He had, with his friends and a crew, I'm not saying he did it all by himself, but with his friends, put together a media company essentially and was independently like distributing hundreds of thousands, millions of self-made tapes across the world or something, like astronomically impressive. Okay. I didn't really like the stunts in the fall and I don't like watching people get hurt, but it's really impressive. Then MTV comes along. It's in dispute. Here's the crap I'm selling. It's in dispute based on the public media reports. Really, what came first? Is it Bam and the CKY crew? Is it Steve-O doing his tricks? Was it Johnny Knoxville doing pranks and stunts? Were they all simultaneously just cropping up at once and MTV put them together? It's in dispute. I don't know. But they all came together. Bam and them were already doing their thing beforehand. It wasn't like they needed MTV. Sure, it definitely put them into household name category, but here's the crap I'm selling. Along the way, between then and now, Bam has made a series of allegations that the people close to him keep trying to tell me not to listen to, but they are like, that MTV exploited them. MTV, Jeff Tremaine assaulted Bam in a specific, way. That one of his friends, Brandon, had facilitated a situation for him to be assaulted in that particular way. I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. Like, he's said that he suffers with bulimia. He has said that the reason that he started taking Adderall at all was to perform for MTV. He said, you're doing these tricks in the CKY, videos. We're doing these tricks and it's like, haha, just tricks after tricks and failing. Like, that's the thing. But in MTV, they want dialogue. They want storyline. You got to stay up late. You got to get up early. So like, he has said those things. Now, people close to him will say all kinds of things to discredit that, but I'm allowed to take it for face value what Bam Margera says. Anyway, May 2021 rolls around. Jeff Tremaine puts a restraining order against Bam. Here's the crap I'm trying to sell. It's all facts. The next week, he's in a conservatorship in another state in Arizona under a woman named Lima Yevremovich. But just 1 month before that, someone had died in her care and she had lied about the cause of death. She had lied about the drugs in the system. I don't know if she had publicly done that yet, actually, but Amanda had died. just so we got the crap I'm selling in order. April 2021, Lima Yevremovich is tagging Bam and Nikki on her professional business page on her virtual reality addiction recovery experimental treatment. Okay. This is all facts. Lima was tagging Bam and Nikki as basically business partners, collaborators. What does it mean to back a business? That sounds like an investment to me. So they're business collaborators, and a month later, she's his conservator. And now what I know is she lied about the cause of death of a ward in her care, and someone has already died in her care. Here's the crap I'm selling, April. Bam was laughing that anyone would believe that. Well, there's proof of it on the internet. So who should be laughing is me at your ass for thinking that I'm like making this shit up. What's wrong with you? There's proof. Who should be laughing is me at you. You ever heard of casting the pearls before the swine? That's what I feel like right now. That anyone will believe a word of the crap she's selling. The crap I'm selling is public documents, and the rest I'm saying I don't know. But instead of, I don't know, maybe reaching out to me and telling me, look, don't worry because XYZ. No, this is how you're handling it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. If I'm giving y'all PR advice, don't even address. You know what I mean? And if you do, make sure you're on a united front. So here goes some tweets. Hey, Jess, still look, this is a free BAM activist. Lappy, looking for an official statement from you on BAM's guardian, Lima Yevremovich. Don't be scared. I'm just a journalist. I won't bite. Are you available for a 10-minute interview while you're busy talking to weirdos in the elevator? I don't know what that's about. Jess says, I don't know how to explain it to you any better. You watched a video of a woman trying desperately to be a YouTube personality. Ugh. Just saying that makes me sick. Okay. Well, does Brandon Novak make you sick? Because he's trying very desperately to be a YouTube personality. Does Steve-O make you sick? Because he's trying very desperately to be a YouTube personality. Does Joe Rogan make you sick? That's what I'm asking. Because it's very ironic to me that the only reason that I even have any idea who the hell you even are is because Bam Margera went out on his way to make a personality of himself. Now, YouTube maybe wasn't invented in 2002, but he was making self-made tapes and showing his true authentic self to people, making their lives better, making them laugh and stuff. So does it make you sick that Bam Margera, that your own brother made a name for himself? Does that make you sick? Does it only make you sick when it's somebody who's saying something that's inconvenient to you? I don't really know. But it is very ironic and, in my opinion, kind of hypocritical. I watched a video of a woman trying desperately to be a YouTube personality. Ugh, just saying that makes me sick. She learned a few names looking at public records, but literally knows nothing and assumed crazy shit. And then look, instead of telling y'all what the crazy shit was, if somebody was assuming crazy shit about my brother or I don't have a brother, so I'll say my sister, I would either not address it at all because I'd be like, that's crazy. I'm not addressing that. Or I would say what the crazy shit is, and I would make sure to correct the record, right? I'm not saying that I'm owed an explanation. I don't want y'all to get it twisted. What I am saying is think of the energy molecules that Jess had to put into doing this and what benefit he got from it, which was nothing. And think of the energy molecules, how you could have transmuted those and did something different with them, right? I watched a video of a woman trying to desperately to be a YouTube personality. Ugh, just saying that makes me sick. She learned a few names looking at public records, literally knows nothing and assumed crazy shit, flat earth, QAnon vibes. And we've gotten to a point in society, in this ad hominem society, where this actually usually can work. You can go on Twitter and you can hurl an insult. It has to be a dog whistle, though. It has to be a specific insult, like conspiracy theorist is a good one, QAnon, anti-vaxxer. It has to be something like that. Racist, that one works. And I'm not talking about instances where this is actually going on, right? I'm talking about when it's just words being used against people where that's not what's happening. You know what I mean? So he was so unable, right, to address my arguments because he says all caps literally knows nothing and assumed crazy shit. He didn't tell you what the crazy shit was that I assumed. I contend that I didn't assume crazy shit. Maybe I did, but I am crazy. I don't care. He was so overwhelmed with the argument, he couldn't use logic that he had to resort to a fallacy called ad hominem. It's where you attack the person instead of attacking the argument, right? If you're arguing with someone, you can always just say, well, you're ugly, well, you're fat, well, you're mama, you're stupid. You can do that, but it doesn't do anything to address what the person's saying. And that's what has in common with his previous tweets and April's Instagram comment. They're calling me names. They're calling me crazy. They're making their little cute jokes, but they're not addressing my arguments and talking about my little bunny ears and talking about the way I talk and talking about I'm not a real lawyer, which I am, a way realer lawyer than you. It's an ad hominem attack. You're attacking me instead of looking at what's the facts. You don't even need me for those facts. Go look them up yourself. You should have looked them up yourself. Is maybe this a little bit of guilt that nobody actually thought of this before me? I don't know. That's assuming crazy shit. Okay. But look, he's got to say flat earth and QAnon, right? He's got to make everybody know I'm a real bad one. Flat earth and QAnon. And as you will see, I just do want to just address, when I get accused of stuff, I realize if you don't say who you are, people will say it for you. So I'm going to tell y'all what I think. I said the earth is round and Bam Margera deserves his constitutional rights. Hashtag free Bam. It's fascinating to me that it's a conspiracy theory to believe in medical autonomy. Shall we draft the new constitutional amendment? Yes. Okay. Now this one, he takes a dig at the Free Britney movement. I can tell by your picture, you are upset that the Free Britney movement is over. But let's not involve my brother and your guy's fetish. So now what he's doing is more ad hominem attacks. And he's trying to infantilize us by constantly like calling us little. And he's saying that we have a fetish. Like, I don't want to get too deep down the like, rhetorical rabbit hole here, but like, don't like bring sexuality into this. Like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Like, fetish for what? You creep, you freak. Don't comment on me and my subscribers and my other friends as a fetish. What is wrong with you? Don't you have daughters? That's disgusting, you creepy old man. That's the only time I will call a name. Watch yourself on that. It's disgusting to have to think about you sitting there typing the word fetish for what? What did that do to advance your argument? To bring up in everyone's mind that it was a fetish? Why did you even use that word? That's the question. Because people are quick to say that I'm too sensitive, but people are not quick to ask, why would he call that a fetish? Like, fetish is like a sexual thing. Like, what are you trying to do? Anyway, just to correct the record, the Free Britney movement is far from over. The Free Britney movement is alive and well, and we are very proud of what we have done, and we are very proud of what we are going to continue to do. See you at the rally on the 27th if you're interested. Don't talk about fetishes no more, you freak. Okay. This is another thing that happened on Instagram. Let's talk about that. Bam Margera's Instagram account, it's clearly not run by him. 1111, make a wish. Who is always, so Chris Pontius, which is like apparently like one of the guys in the crew, y'all. I didn't know who most of these people were before I started this movement. I'm so sorry. But this guy seems like a big deal. He's got like a million subscribers, followers, or something on Instagram. So got like a lot of people know who he is or whatever. And he's commenting, who is always posting as Bam? And then tags Johnny Shillareff, who I believe is the owner of Element, the skateboarding company. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. And then April Margera, who is always so Bam, like a friend, someone who cares about him, who is posting as Bam. I said, many are wondering the same. Hint, it's not Bam. Okay, what else? This was another good comment, a cool comment. It's funny how it's always Bam's laughing at it and Bam is shocked about it, but it's never actually Bam saying anything himself. Someone else said, why isn't Bam allowed to speak for himself then? Everyone else is speaking for him, but I haven't heard or seen Bam actually dismiss the claims. So, like, why should we believe anyone who benefits from him being in a conservatorship? I mean, I do think that we can believe people who benefit from being in a from someone being in a conservatorship. I don't think we should necessarily assume they are lying, but I do think that it is not unwise to ask, does this person benefit? What are their motives? What else could be going on? For like April, for example, there could be a lot of emotions at play, a lot of, she doesn't really know what else to do. This is the final thing. I know that these people have convinced themselves that whatever this is better than jail, which I don't necessarily agree with. And that's the issue. We disagree on some fundamental things. Like if you commit a crime, you should be subject to the criminal justice system. It should do its thing. And then you should face the consequences that a jury decides, because that's the law. That's the Constitution. I do not think that if you commit a crime, you should get unlimited get out of jail free cards. Why is it if a famous or a rich person commits a crime, they get to go into rehab or whatever? Now, my opinion, belief is rehab is not better than jail. I think that it's jail by another name, where you don't have rights, where they can drug you, where they can hide you away, where they can do all kinds of things. They can limit your visitation. They can put you on all kinds, they can make medical decisions for you that they would never be able to make for you in jail. So I think there is a fundamental disagreement between me and the people close to Bam that somehow he should be able to escape jail. Because what? Because he's famous? Well, maybe that's the consequence that he's never, ever faced, because everyone around him continues to catch him with these things that they're considering to be safety nets, getting him out of jail, getting him out of DUIs, getting him out of assault charges, which I was unable to confirm even happened, for the record. We fundamentally just must disagree. But if y'all can get on the same page with me, I'm not going to change my opinion on medical autonomy. It's one of my big things in life. But if y'all can get on the same page with me, I would actually be happy to turn over all the proof and evidence of things. If y'all want to start asking Lima some questions, maybe asking Nikki some questions about how that whole setup worked out, maybe asking like why y'all weren't informed before Bam was put into a conservatorship that Amanda Rabb had died, maybe I could turn all this stuff over to you. I'm not your enemy. And I think I've been pretty cordial with y'all. Okay. And then finally, we have a few of these, 5 or 6 of these. So these are various tweets, and this is why I was late to this live. These are hot off the press, happening now. These are the ones. I don't know if they're in any particular order. I just took screenshots because someone had sent these screenshots to me. This is just a sampling of screenshots. This is all conceivably still up on every time I read a comment, I get distracted. These are all up, conceivably still up on his Twitter. So if you want to go read the whole thing, you can, but let's just discuss something. You guys are embarrassing. You actually just texted me about my brother, saying a random stranger knows more than I do. Think about that for a minute. Well, let's think about it for a minute. What is preventing a random stranger from knowing more about someone than their brother? Like, what is really preventing that? Like, some people don't even talk to their brothers. Some people hate their brothers. I mean, if you read the Christian Bible, the first brothers on earth, one of them killed the other one. So like, it's not inconceivable that a random stranger could know more about your brother than you. There's super fans. There's people who probably know the day he lost his first tooth. There are absolutely random strangers, stalkers, crazy people who know more about your brother than you. There absolutely are, because they've made him hit their whole life, and they probably have shrines and probably sniff his shirts and so like probably all kinds of stuff. So yeah, first of all, a random stranger can know more about your brother than you. And in fact, in this situation, it's probably accurate. that more than one random stranger knows more about your brother than you. This is what happens when you tell people to think about things for a minute. This is what happens. Then what you're really implying is that I know more about your brother than you, which is not what I'm saying and is not what I have said. What you're really implying is that a random stranger, me, someone thinks that I know more about Bam than you. That's not true. I know very little about Bam Margera. Very little. But what I know about him is irrelevant. I don't know almost anything about Amanda Rabb. What I know about them and how much I know. Yeah, let me rephrase that. How much I know about these people is irrelevant. What I do know is what's relevant. You see what I'm saying? So we're not just sitting here stacking up cards. Who has the most Bam Margera trivia? You get to be the one who wins the dick stretching contest. Hooray. Like, what are you talking about? What you're actually trying to say is that you think it's preposterous that I have more idea of what's going on in the situation than you. And I do think that's preposterous. But whose fault could that be? You are the one with the inside knowledge. You are the one who is up close and personal. You are the one who is helping with this thing. You should know more than me. So what's your point? Think about that for a second, guys. That sounds more conspiratorial than anything I've said. What are you talking? Think about what? What are you talking about? Then Carrie Ann makes a valid point. To be fair, a lawyer would know more about conservatorships than some random sibling. Don't you think you would want one of the biggest lawyers of the Free Britney movement to monitor your brother's conservatorship case? Don't you think you would want any corruption in the conservatorship to come out? But instead, you are ego flashing. You are acting like, because of your genetic relationship to Bam Margera and your proximity to the people involved, that you are immune from bullshit. Don't you think you'd be the main one they'd be bullshitting? Like a random stranger. I'm not a random stranger. I'm the conservatorship whisperer. And your brother's isn't the only one I've looked at. There's more than half a dozen. We actually got a video coming out on BJ Investigates tomorrow on this topic, a totally unrelated celebrity. I do this basically for a job now. I know conservatorship, suspicious conservatorship behavior when I see it. You should be thanking me. But instead, you are acting like we are in 6th grade on the Westchester Middle School playground, calling me names like maniac and silly. Excuse me, sir. I am highly educated and I'm highly qualified and I am volunteering my services to you for free. And this is how you repay me? That is disrespectful. Anyway, unless you had anything to do with it, you probably know less about them. But the way you talk sounds like Team Con. Like you do know and don't care that Lima runs Bam's life. And that seems like what it is to me. Then Jess goes, this is hot off the press. This just happened. I'm very involved in trying to save my brother's life. I thought I was laughing at the maniac, right? Like, see how the stories don't add up? I'm very involved. He just said this today in trying to save, what is today? The 5th, 6th, 7th, 7th, 8th. Oh my word. He just said July 8th, 2022. He's very involved in trying to save his brother's life. And you guys, I'm not a guy, stop saying that, are making an already terrible situation much worse. But I thought you had ended our silly conspiracy party with your post. And I thought that Bam was laughing at me hysterically. If he were laughing at me hysterically, how could I possibly be making a terrible situation so much worse? Now, for the record, if y'all are wondering my opinion, I believe this version of the story much more than the one where he's going to end my conspiracy party with one Instagram post. But it's just, it shows that instead of telling the truth, and either don't talk at all or tell the truth, because what you do is you impeach yourself. You set yourself up to look like you lied. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm very involved in trying to save my brother's life. You guys are making an already terrible situation much worse. But like 5 minutes ago or like a couple weeks ago, You said, I, sh- I showed Bam the video of the maniac who started the free Bam bullshit, and he was hysterically laughing. Sorry to end your silly little conspiracy party, guys. Okay. What about that sounds like an already terrible situation much worse, because that's what now he's moved on to saying today. Okay. Another thing he said, you guys really need to stop pretending to be knowledgeable about something you literally know nothing about. Again, this almost sounds like a valid argument, but he has failed to produce any example, even one statement of me doing this. Stop pretending to be knowledgeable about something you literally know nothing about. Well, it's not true, actually, logically speaking, that we literally know nothing about it, because, in fact, we exclusively obtained police reports, body camera footage. Jess, I saw the body camera footage. You and April were not there at the Don Caesar Hotel in Pinellas County. You weren't there. And I have reason to believe you didn't order the body camera footage. The reason I believe that is because one of your friends asked me for it. So that indicates to me, using inductive reasoning, or as some people would like to say, conspiracy theories, that you didn't see that before me, which means I knew not only something about it, but also I knew more than you about it, which is something you acted like was preposterous. But see how you can just get through it with logic instead of name calling? I'm not pretending to be knowledgeable on things I literally don't know anything about. I say that I don't know anything about what's going on behind the scenes, which is why I resort to talking to Vinny Beadle, of all people. Y'all in the background are keying about Vinny Beadle and laughing, but he's the only person so far who's been willing to go on record. Tonight, there's going to be another one on Instagram Live. Not with Vinny, someone else. So that will be 2. It's not that we literally know nothing and we're pretending to be knowledgeable. It's that we are knowledgeable on some aspects of this case. In some aspects, we are not knowledgeable. And instead of joining together and sharing resources and collaborating on how best to help Bam, which is all I'm trying to do, y'all are mudslinging. I'm sure it's a great distraction from your problems. Actually, it's a great distraction from shit I need to be getting done. Jess, I am very busy. I have a lot of plates spinning on the plate spinning sticks right now. Okay. I'm starting a 3rd YouTube channel. Yes, I am trying to be a YouTube personality, because the people that are role models and the people that are propped up, the journalists and the actors and all the people right now propped up, I don't see no whole bunch of them whose opinions are worth a shit. So I believe that I have a unique perspective, and I have seen that other people share that perspective, and I will continue saying it on YouTube. And if that makes you sick, you should seek medical attention. It's not a great distraction from my problems. It's actually a distraction from things I would otherwise like to be doing. But I see that you have such a miserable existence that you're projecting it onto me, and I do not consent to your miserable projection. You are making the jobs of alcohol and drug addiction experts way harder than it needs to be. Please stop. I love doing this. This is another logical fallacy called appeal to authority. It's where you assume that because someone is an expert, as approved by the licensing bodies, that they are more knowledgeable about everything than anyone else. And it's a really difficult logical fallacy for people to get over, because usually that is the case. If someone is an expert, they are more likely, statistically, to have some idea of what's going on in a field than someone else. But Lima Yevremovich calls herself, for example, a drug addiction expert. Okay. Brandon Novak calls himself a drug addiction expert. And like, I'm going to keep all my thoughts to myself on why that is a hilarious thing, but I'm sure y'all can fill in the blanks. People can call themselves experts, and then whenever the thing that the expert says doesn't go with the main stream status quo opinion, that person is like, their licenses are stripped. They're taken all their credibility is taken away. But do they not still know exactly the same thing that they knew before? It's just a piece of paper at the end of the day, right? So saying that we are making these people's jobs harder is an appeal to authority to say, but out of it with your silly little constitutional concerns. But out of it with your appeals to bodily and medical autonomy. That's hilarious. But out, because you're not an expert. I'm not an expert, Jess, but I am an expert in being an immediate family member to an addict. And since you and your crew like to do this comparison game so much about how I must not know, my dad overdosed. He's dead. He died. So I am an expert at loving someone with an addiction. And that seems to be your point of expertise as well. So what's the expert here? Lima? The expert that lied about the woman who died in her care? That expert? The expert that took a woman off the street, forced her onto drugs, and when she was dead and gone, they found barbiturates in her system, they found cannabinoids in her system. Lima said all that was in her system was Tylenol. If you watched my silly little podcast, you would know that. That's the expert. How about Stephen B. Timmer? Is that the expert you're talking about? The convicted criminal who got convicted of a crime, who lost his bar license for defrauding vulnerable immigrant clients? That the expert you talking about? The same one who put Bam Margera in his own clinic? The same one who I have reason to believe is still involved in this case? That's the expert. How about conflicts of interest? Did they teach you that in school? Whenever like somebody's personal interest butts up against the best interest of a person they're supposed to be taking care of? Did you ever learn about conflicts of interest, Jess? Where sometimes experts might have like other considerations going on in their mind. Like, for example, Bam backing Aura? Bam had already agreed to back Aura, and so had Nikki, who is keeping Phoenix from Bam right now as far as the tabloids are concerned. You're right, I don't know anything, so why don't you confirm or deny that Bam has been able to see his child? These are the experts you're wanting me to talk about, and they have all these conflicts of interest. I'm making their jobs harder? Well, from the looks of it, Jess, their jobs are to financially benefit from Bam's incarceration. That's what these experts' jobs are. That guy that Paramount hired to be a handler who wouldn't let Bam leave the state, who made him take random drug tests all day, all night, every single type. He couldn't even go on vacation. I cannot imagine that wouldn't unravel me. What was really the best interest of Bam in that? The guy had a job to do. You are right. We are making their jobs harder. But from the looks of it, their job is to financially benefit themselves, to unjustly enrich themselves. Lima, even insofar as a business capacity, they post Bam on all these rehabs. They put it in TMZ, which ones he's in. That's free advertising, baby. These experts have ulterior motives. Whether they are acting on them or not is not for me to say. It's for the family and the loved ones to ask. And it's really embarrassing and irresponsible that instead of doing that, you're calling me a conspiracy theorist and acting like I'm doing something incorrect. Let's have a debate then. Let's sit down and you tell me every single absurd, insane, flat earth QAnon bullshit that I have done, that I have assumed. You bring me some receipts and you tell me why I'm wrong. I will publish it. I will go on your channel for it. I will allow it to be moderated. I don't like being wrong about shit. I'm not out here trying to act like I know anything that I don't know. It's pretty embarrassing to get proven wrong. So what am I wrong about, Jess? Please stop. No. I'm very involved trying to save my brother's life. You guys are making already terrible situation much worse. So sorry your brother He gets to have no freedoms in order to save his life, but that doesn't sound like a life worth living. Doing what someone else, I mean, Patrick Henry, that's who it was, said, give me liberty or give me death. I want Bam Margera to live a happy, strong, and healthy life. That's what I want. I want him to be happy, strong, and healthy. But I want it to be his choice, and I believe he deserves to decide at a fundamental level where he lays his head down at night and what chemicals are put into his body. I believe he deserves at least that. And right now, it doesn't seem to me that he has that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't actually know. But whenever the last headline I saw was Bam was returned to rehab, it seems like he's still there. I haven't heard from him. I haven't seen him. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not sitting here trying to say, oh yeah, let Bam Margera die. That is incorrect. That is not what I am saying, nor is it what I think. I want him to live a very happy, strong, and healthy life and be there for his children, his family, and do all the things that make his heart happy. But that requires like allowing him to do those things. Y'all understand? You guys really need to stop pretending to be knowledgeable. We read some documents and police reports. Okay. We read documents and police reports. So again, we do know about it. Thank you. I hope we make the job of people who want to take others' rights away for addiction harder. Yes, this is exactly what I'm saying. Yes. Much harder would be progress. True. It should be much harder to take away fundamental rights. It should be much harder. Britney Spears, Bam Margera, Nichelle Nichols, Peter Max, almost Lindsay Lohan. They did take away her rights for a few days. Almost Kanye West. But the people I named up before that, Amanda Bynes, were all Sam Williams in conservatorships. Bam Margera. It should be harder. It should be harder. The standard for taking someone's constitutional rights away should be astronomically difficult. It should be a lot harder to take away and reassign someone's constitutional rights. And what we are having right now is a desensitization to it. I know y'all like to call me a conspiracy theorist, but what is happening is it is all over the place. The mainstream media, y'all don't like when I say it, the institutional media, they paint these people up and make everybody think that they are absolutely unhinged. Okay, we saw it Britney, saw it Bam, we saw it all these people. And it's like, if you really microscope down, you really deep dive into the situation, you will see it's a pretty normal human reaction that most of them are having to an intense and excruciating amount of trauma and still being expected to work, show up, act, portray a character, be on, dance, perform, meet and greet, be nice. And as soon as they step out of line, it is made into the biggest deal. And then sometimes it's lies. We saw it with Bam. They said he was assaulting with someone at that hotel. The police body camera footage barely mentions an assault. The police asked, did someone get assaulted? Stephen B. Timmer goes, oh, he did a marchman order. That was it on the assault. TMZ still to this day hasn't corrected that story. So it's like the general public thinks these people are absolutely unhinged. So it's like, okay, if we take their rights away. And then we move down the line to regular people in society who fallen hard on their luck, addicts, sex workers like Amanda, homeless people. Oh, it's easy to say that person needed a conservatorship because look how horrible their life was. And it must be better for them to be in a rehab center, drugged, controlled, experimented on with virtual reality. It must be better. Like, that's what y'all thinking. And very soon it's going to be like, oh shit, my friend's aunt is in a conservatorship. And then it's going to be, oh, my grandpa's in one. Then it's going to be, my mom's in one and she's on her deathbed and I can't even go into the room because the bitchy ass conservator has all her rights. And my hands are tied because it's a huge nationwide cartel. I'm literally telling y'all that is what is going on. All these lawyers forum shop. They judge shop. They went to law school together. They would go to parties together. They sit on boards together. They're in on it together. I've seen it time and time and again. And if you would rather call me conspiracy theorist than, look at the truth, then I rest my case, to be honest. Thank you to anyone who did super chats. I did not look at the chat at all during this live because who knows? Preach, Rebecca. Yeah, it's very weird. What are y'all's comments saying? I don't think being disenfranchised of the Constitution is ever going to work. I hope not, because it ain't going to work on me. And it kind of started like probably when I was a younger person. You could have convinced me, something about saving someone from themselves or something. But yeah, I mean, I understand people can have differing opinions on this, but like it is my strong opinion. Nobody else should get to tell you what medical treatments you get unless you have an advanced healthcare directive or is some kind of crazy accident. You know what I mean? Like it's an accident, like here comes your parents and it's an emergency and we have a game time decision. It's, oh God, life or death, like that. Yeah, hell yeah. Someone should be able to step in and help you to survive or whatever. But the things that the family and the things that I keep hearing is like, whoa, well, look how drunk he gets or he's doing drugs again. Well, to the extent he's doing drugs and it's a crime, maybe it's time y'all let him try out jail for a change, where he will actually have his rights be respected, where he can have a lawyer fighting for his rights so I can go on about my business and be on to the next thing. If he goes to jail, he'll get a lawyer. He will have a trial. He will have a definite end date. These are not things that you get all the time in conservatorships, and it's not something he has in his. Now, just to leave off, from what I understand, Bam's conservatorship is over. I searched for conservatorship documents in Broward County, which is this Deerfield Park or whatever, Deerfield Beach, whatever it is. The most recent thing they reported on, I had not seen any other conservatorship documents. So based on the documents that I have seen, and I do not know everything, if someone has a tip on this, send it to me. Based on documents I've seen, Bam is not in a conservatorship anymore, based on the documents I've seen. But remember, there were 2 conservatorships filed for in Arizona, and one of them ended on July 10th, 2022, just now. That was the, June 10th. I'm saying July because we're in July right now. June 10th. One of them ended on June 10th, 2022. But Lima had applied for a permanent one. So it's possible all that fiasco about running away, escape, blah, blah, blah. I've seen it in the Britney case. It's possible that was a PR strategy to give a little more ammo to put him back in that conservatorship in Arizona. Here are my reasons for speculating that that could be the case. I'm not saying it is. Number 1, on the police report of Bam just escaping from rehab, not the most recent time, but the time before, Lima listed his address as an Arizona address. Additionally, the vehicle that was registered to Bam was listed in Arizona. So for someone who's been living in Florida or was registered in Arizona, someone's been living in Florida for a year, I'm just curious as to why. Oh, and another thing, someone who's been living in Florida for a year and who Lima has tried to put in a conservatorship in Florida, for her to still be listing his address as Arizona just raises a question in my mind. The question is, why? Why? Maybe because she's lazy and she doesn't want to do her job and change over his residence. That's possible and believable, likely even. Or it's possible that Arizona, in order to get the permanent conservatorship that's up for debate, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, needed to have still an address in Arizona. Otherwise, what are you doing bringing him to the Arizona courts? You see what I'm saying? But he's been being treated in Florida all this time. So I don't know what's going on with that, because guess what? It's sealed. So I'll continue to try and get Maybe that'll be the next petition, unseal the conservatorship documents. But yeah, anyway, that's where we stand right now. Um, my inbox is open for anyone who has tips, who has information, and who wants to use the information that me and my team have gathered to help free BAM. I've already gone like so much longer than I like to go, but I really just wanted to chill out, hang out with y'all today. And yeah, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it.